Now to rant about something that I do on a daily basis. Matter of fact, I'm doing it right now. Code switching. The shit fucking sucks. This rant is all about code switching. The ins, the outs, the origin, the context, and how the fuck it affects me. By definition, from Google, code switching or language alternation occurs when a speaker alternates between two or more languages or language varieties in the context of a single conversation or situation. In very simple terms, I change up how I speak depending on who I talk to and who my audience is. And for a long time, I thought this is just how I spoke, but after doing a lot of research and getting educated on the fact, I code switch in social situations where I want to actually be heard in. And I feel like this is a commonality amongst all black creators because we feel like we have to speak in a certain way that is going to convey to the specific audience that we have if it's not all the way black. And I'm not gonna put this on y'all. Y'all are my target audience and I should speak to y'all as candidly as possible, but because of certain situations I grew up in, it's hard for me to convey how I normally want to sound. And the funny part is, you can tell when I'm code switching in this video, and I will even point out when I'm doing it. I just did it there. And I've been doing this for a long time unconsciously. This can go all the way back to when I was a child. When I was a child, the biggest thing that I heard because of how I code switch is that I'm too white for the black kids and too black for the white kids. And this is because when I grew up, my mom spoke very proper to me. We use little to no colloquialisms, and that's just how I spoke English. And because I speak very proper as opposed to more colloquial, everybody thought that my language was more whitewashed, which I think is dumb as shit to say about somebody. Just because I can pronounce English does not mean I'm speaking a certain color. That's just dumb. But I'm not gonna put black people on the pedestal for judging me for code switching, because in reality, it's because of the environment in which I grew up in. Let's take high school for me. That's the exact moment I became aware of my code switching and how it was affecting my social relationships. Because where I went to school, it was a predominantly white high school. There was not a lot of people that looked like me. And that's not to say that I wasn't around people that spoke like me. There was other black people and we're still cool to this day. But the overwhelming amount of social interactions in high school for me involved white people. And the biggest thing that I got from them was the negative connotation based on how I sounded. I will never forget this moment, bro. I was just sitting in my Spanish 1 class, mumbling to myself the lyrics to that part. And if you heard what I said, I didn't say that part. I said that part. And this kid behind me said, excuse me, don't you mean that part? And I looked at him because I'm confused because I'm saying that. I'm just saying that. But hearing that disconnect and that critique on my language made me change up and try to sound like how they sounded so they could hear what I'm actually saying. And throughout high school, that is the main thing that I did. I started to speak like this and talk like this. And this is another example of me code switching because of that situation. But in reality, that shit was discriminatory as fuck, bro. They're discriminating based on how I sound, based on how I look. I don't think that's a reach, right? Because think about it like this. Take a non-English speaker, right? They're going to fuck up English. English is a hard language. And for you to be an outsider talking about this foreigner saying, man, you need to get better English. Bro, English is hard already. At least they're fucking trying. Because in all honesty, you should be learning they fucking language so they feel more welcome in the United States. Because ain't we all about diversity? I thought so at least. But getting back to it, I went through high school, graduated sounding hoity-toity and always trying to sound like this because I want to be respected based on my voice. And it really came down to me not only wanting to be respected for my voice, but be respected for the person that I am. And I feel like a lot of black creators who are on this website or just in their daily lives have to code switch to some degree. Because the last thing I want to be classified as is uneducated and aggressive just because I use African American vernacular English. Like, no, that's just not how that works. It does not link up to me. But I graduate high school and then I go to college. And this is where my self-awareness of my code switching really came to the forefront because I had people who looked like me but also talk like me before I went to high school. So to say I had a culture shock would be an understatement because my entire world changed because I saw black people being black people. I didn't see black people trying to fit in and speak extra proper in front of their white counterparts. They just did. And because of this instilled a certain amount of proudness in me, but it also still enabled some insecurities based on how I sound towards certain people. And funny enough, I don't even code switch around black people. Like, I just don't do it because I don't feel like it's necessary. But let one non-person of color come into the mix and I'm automatically code switching sounding proper so they can actually hear what I'm saying and have a conversation as opposed to look at me judgmentally. But really, is it fair to myself to really look at myself like that, or should I just be speaking to them like a normal fucking person? I think the latter is true for me. And even to this day, I know how code switching sounds, and I know I shouldn't be doing it because I should just be living my own personality, but there's always something in the back of my head that makes me code switch, and I don't want to. It is annoying and frustrating because half the time I don't even notice I'm doing it until after it happened. And you can catch me doing this shit in my videos. If you check some of the way I pronounce some of my words, I'm doing it intentionally so it doesn't come off as me being lazy. I want to convey the right emotion on the sentence, but at the same time with me code switching, I'm losing the personality that y'all know me for. And that's not a critique to say that those videos are bad that I'm code switching, but it feels like it's stripping my personality, all for the sake of clear words. And like I said, for the majority of this video, I'm trying my absolute hardest not to code switch, but like I said, it's almost like a defense mechanism and I always have to do it. Because with code switching, for me at least, it's frustrating because it feels like I'm living two identities. The first identity that I live is Dom, really. It's the person that speaks in AAVE, colloquialism, he joke and he laugh, and his words come out a little like sloppy. But then other Dom, he's the one that speaks like this. He speaks like he's a public speaker or a fucking politician, making sure that every word is punctual and his rhetoric is correct. I didn't even like saying that shit. That shit sounded corny as fuck, man. Like, fuck code switching, bro. And like I said earlier, for me, I think this stems from an insecurity of not being heard by people who are not like me, because I would like to appeal to a wider audience. And for me to appeal for this wider audience, I need to sound like I know what I'm talking about. And my irrational way of sounding like I know what I'm talking about is to use proper English. And this may just be a critique on me, with me trying to optimize and trying to find the right way to say these sentences, putting the right inflection on each of these. I'm really not saying anything, and if I just would have said it in my normal voice, it probably would have just done better than me trying to optimize a sentence. And I started to believe that that's the case because I look at so many videos and I'm like, that's just not me. Who the fuck is talking, bro? Although I can have that hindsight reaction, in the mix of it, I feel like it's important to always do, and I know damn well it's not. I'm just gonna go out on a limb here. Whenever y'all watch my videos, y'all aren't watching it for what the words are. Y'all are watching for who is saying the words, and that's me. So why would I pretend to be somebody else by using different language styles and rhetoric to try to convey a message that would have been better if I just used my fucking personality? I'm sorry, I'm going down a rabbit hole because now I'm getting real insecure about my YouTube videos. I do apologize, I'm sorry. But yeah, seriously though, man, like code switching is one of the dumbest concepts on the planet, and I hate that we have to do it because black people have been so invalidated for so long that the only way we feel like we can be heard is to strip ourselves of our own language to appeal to people, to a wider audience. And I feel like that's a reason why a lot of creators stop trying, because they feel like no matter how far they go, they'll never be understood unless it's in their community. And to be honest with you, I really only want to be understood by y'all, you know what I'm saying? I want y'all to enjoy the content. I don't need everybody to enjoy the content so long as y'all do first. So this is me trying to take a stand against my code switching. So from the videos here on out, I'm gonna try my best to just sound like me, to have all my personality, and to not think it is important to say every word so perfect, because that is really stupid. It is dumb. It's almost the equivalent of that person that tries to sound smart by using big ass words, but they don't even know what the fuck them shits mean. Unlike me though, I'm a motherfucking verbalist. I know what the fuck I be talking about though. But seriously though, I don't want any of my videos to come off pedantically or in a manner that makes it seem like I'm smarter than y'all and I'm just drip feeding y'all information. I want all of my videos to come off as a conversation, and it's just me that started it. Maybe I should start those conversations off with me and not the perception of what I think y'all want from me. But to be fair, I am kind of curious, what kind of content do y'all want from me? Do y'all want me to be more eccentric, or do y'all like me being more educational and sitting down and being more analytical? Let me know in the comments. I promise you I'm taking those into consideration. Because the last thing I want to do is become a vapid, boring motherfucker who can say words nice but don't have a personality behind those. That's the last thing I want to fucking do, because I like being me. I like enjoying this space that I call YouTube. And hell, social media for that fact. Speaking of social media, I want to plug my Snapchat because I do post a lot of updates on what I do in my day-to-day life. So if y'all do want to see a more intimate look on behind the scenes, on working on videos, screenshots, and just really me living in life, add my Snapchat. It's right here. But that's really the end of my rant on code switching. I may make this into a bigger video if y'all need me to. Let me know in the comments if you want me to develop these thoughts into a bigger theory and how it affects creators. But if you're also a person of color, let me know how you've code switched in life. I love to hear that in the comments, and I would love for y'all to tell me how y'all have done this in life, because I know how it gets and I know how frustrating it is. And subscribe, man. Look, we are growing at a great ass rate, man, and I love it because we almost to the bandland, man. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like the video if you enjoyed, because it puts your boy in the algorithm so everybody can see your boy, Base Dom. Yes, sir, man. But yeah, man, it's been based on people. Deuces.